Hey guys, it is Logan Holmes, and I'm doing it. The top 10 best Loud House episodes from season 1. I'm ready to do this. The Loud House is one of the Loud House may just be a little over a year old, but I can agree that this is one of the best cartoons of all time. It's just really good. I consider this to be the best cartoon of the 2010s, or modern cartoons. Because, I consider modern cartoons to be cartoons from the 2010s. And so, yeah, it's a great cartoon. So, let's get this started. Number 10, for Bros About to Rock. Okay, so this is an episode that, so Lincoln is going to a concert, a rock concert, and then his sisters warn him about, Luna, who's a huge fan of rock music, and she's ruined all of Lincoln's sisters' concerts, and she's embarrassed all of them. So Lincoln tries not to get Luna to come, but Luna finds out about it because she says that she knows everything about, she knows everything when it comes to music and then concerts, and yeah, so then which gets them at the back of she gets them at the back of the line, and then they end up getting sold out. But then we get one flaw about this episode, just one flaw about this episode, that puts this at number 10 and not at number 1, or, well, even without the flaw, it probably wouldn't be at number 1, definitely wouldn't be at number 1, because it would probably be somewhere, maybe like 5 or so, somewhere around that, but, without the flaw. But here's this one flaw. There's this guy who's selling, Lincoln and Clyde. Clyde's going with Lincoln too, and then he sells them tickets, and then, well, turns out it's a cop, and the cop arrests them, which I found that to be kind of mean-spirited of the cop. That's the one flaw about this episode. I mean, it's a cop. Cops would never be that mean-spirited. And then, so it turns out that, that Bobby is working, well, Bobby, who is, Lori, the oldest, Lori's boyfriend, and then Bobby's, a guard there at the prison, and then, Luna tries to bail them out. Well, they have to have their parents to bail them out. So Luna tries to bail them out, but then, in disguise, it says Lincoln's mom. But then Bobby is like, that's Luna's that's their sister. But then, now, would that be a flaw? I mean, of Bobby, would that be that's kind of I didn't really think about that. That, come to think of it, that's kind of mean-spirited of Bobby. I mean, Bobby, I'm not sure if he knew exactly what was going on, so that's kind of questionable. But anyway, so Luna tells them this, which locks Luna up in there too, and then Luna tells about, and Lincoln and Clyde, they tell why exactly, and Lincoln talks about how he regrets that about Luna, and then Luna talks about how she became a fan of rock music, and then Luna just and Lincoln changes his mind about the whole thing, saying that Luna had a good idea all along, and then it turns out, and that's how it turns out to be. So, and they get released because of that, a heartwarming story. So yeah, but despite that one flaw, it is still a good episode, and that one questionable one about Bobby, but it is a good episode. Number 9. Picture Perfect. So in this episode, we have, it's Lincoln's parents' anniversary, so Lincoln decides to take a picture of all of his sisters and his pets to give his parents for their anniversary gift. But then they look all crazy in the picture, and Lincoln thinks that his parents wouldn't want to see that, so he decides then to make them look serious and, take a picture of them. But then Lincoln ends up deciding, at the end, Lincoln decides that the first picture was good just the way they are, because it shows his sister's personality. So yeah, and also we have Lincoln at the beginning. Lincoln finds out that his parents didn't like any of the gift. I think it has something to do with that. I can't remember exactly. But then it turns out, he gets it to his parents for their anniversary. So yeah. Number 8. Undue pressure. So Lincoln has this bad habit. He takes all of his clothes off, and he reads comics in his underwear, and which really bothers Lola, which is one of Lincoln's sisters. So they make a bet about who can go the longest without doing their bad habits. So then eventually they have to which they have like too many bad habits to explain right now. But like I'm sorry, not Lola's bad habit is using the mirror. So Lola has to go without using the mirror, which that's how it turns out to be in the end. And then oh yeah, I also forgot, if Lincoln wins the bet, then he gets to get, some red underwear that has, like, so many stitches in them. While if his sister wins, he has to read comics in his clothes. So yeah, so eventually, Lincoln ends up getting Lola to look in the mirror. And when Lincoln thinks that he wins, actually, he ends up forgetting about, Lily, his youngest sister, who's, her bad habit is crying, and she never cried at all, which means that his sisters win the bet. However, at the end of the episode, Lola decides to get Lincoln the red underwear anyway, because they say that no one should give up, because she then decides, no matter how much it bothers me, no, it's not something that you should give up. So yeah, this is a good episode. Number 7. Changing the baby. Basically, the only thing about this episode I have to say is Lincoln just, tries to get Lily tries to change Lily because, each one of their sisters has their own personality. But Lincoln doesn't. Lily doesn't have her own personality because she's 15 months old. So then, so Lincoln tries to get Lily to be more like him. And it's pretty funny how, Clyde thinks that he's been replaced by a baby, and then he dresses up like a baby, and but then at the end, Lincoln decides that it's best to wait. So, yeah. Number 6. A Tale of Two Tables. So Lincoln has 10 sisters, and he's got his parents, and himself. So that makes 13 people in the Loud House. So they have 2 different tables. They've got the grown-up table, and they've got the kids table. And Lincoln is the oldest at the kids table. And it really bothers him, how Lincoln, he wants, it bothers him because all of his sisters, throw food at him. And, so Lincoln thinks that he's ready for the grown-up table. And he tells his parents. about it, and they think he's ready. So then we get, Lincoln. But then it turns out that they have, while they have chicken nuggets at the kids' table, they don't have chicken nuggets at the grown-up table. They have liver, which Lincoln hates. So then Lincoln tries to, instead decides to, to behave like really bad at the grown-up table. So while his parents are like, we thought you were ready for the grown-up table, but clearly you're not. So then he goes back to the kids' table. Well, his older sisters find they were all bored at the kids' tables. They were all bored at the grown-up table, so they go back to the kids' table, and then, because they didn't know that it was possible to leave the grown-up table. And then, they start throwing food at each other, and this time Lincoln, instead of being annoyed, he's actually having fun. So yeah, this is a really good episode. Number 5. Left in the Dark. This is the first episode of the entire series. And it's really good. So Lincoln is watching the show ARG. Which, no, ARG is not about pirates. It's a ghost hunting show, because I don't remember the exact. I know the last two, the GH was for ghost hunters, but like AAR, it's something Academy of Real Ghost Hunters. I don't remember exactly, but his sisters, they watch the TV, very a lot. So then, Lincoln tries to distract all of his sisters so he can get to the TV, but then he forgets about Lucy. So then Lincoln decides to watch the black and white TV, which causes a power outage in their house. So then they have to find the breaker, I think it is, and then turn it on. But then Lincoln misses ARG. Well, but then, he decides that since he had, a good adventure, I mean, he was, he was fine with that. So, yeah, and then, number 4. Along Came a Sister. So Lincoln has a class pet, in this episode, a spider. And then, and then, you know, Lincoln is, I'm sorry, and Lenny, and then they lose the spider, and Lenny is afraid of spiders, and then his parents, like, his dad ends up calling an exterminator whenever he finds out about the spider, and then Lincoln has to fight the exterminator, and then he makes the exterminator leave. And for a while, they think that the spider's dead, but it turns out that it was one of, the cat. What's the cat's name? I can't remember what the cat's name is right now. I know the dog's name is Cliff, but I don't remember what the cat's name is right now. But it turns out that they think the spider's dead, but it turns out that it was one of the cat's hairballs. And then it was, you know, the spider, and so the spider was alive. So yeah, it's a pretty good episode. Number 3. Heavy metal. So, the creator of this show, Chris Savino, has worked on 3 Nicktoons: Ren Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life, and Hey Arnold. Which this episode is a lot similar to Hey Arnold. Because, you know, Lincoln is getting bullied at school by a girl. And then his sisters say that whenever a girl bullies you, she likes you, which I mean is similar to Hey Arnold if you think about it, because, you know, Helga, she bullied Arnold, but but it was a secret that, you know, she liked Arnold. So yeah, so really, I like this. So yeah, and so, you know, the boy is you know, Ronnie Ann, and then, you know, they end up, you know, they like, even though Lincoln doesn't agree, like, Ronnie Ann, you know, likes Lincoln, and then, but Lincoln just doesn't like Ronnie Ann. So yeah, but this is a pretty good episode. Number 2, Space Invader. So in this episode, Lynn and Lucy end up having a feud, which causes Lynn to move out of move out and move in with Lincoln, who is he is you know, he has a room to himself. Which bothers Lincoln, and you know, so then Lynn, so then, you know, Lynn does like all these things, like, Lynn gives Lincoln a Dutch oven, which is whenever, you know, she ends up putting Lincoln under you know, the bedspread, and then she farts. And then and some other and you know, some other annoying stuff. So Lincoln tries, you know, does a lot of annoying stuff. Like he tries doing an impersonation of Lucy, but that didn't get Lynn out. And then he tries, you know, doing an impersonating, and then he tries giving a Dutch oven to Lynn, but Lynn likes it. But then eventually Lynn moves back in with Lucy. So, and then, yeah, and another thing that I like about this episode is that we get some adult humor in this episode. Whenever Lynn moves into Lincoln's room, and then she's like, there's not a complete lack of balls in this room. And the #1 best episode of Loud House Season 1 is Driving Miss Hazy. Man, I love this episode. My favorite Loud sister would have to be Lenny. I find her to be a really good character. She's really funny. She reminds me of you know, Patrick from you know, like the early episodes of SpongeBob, mainly Chucky from Rugrats and Patrick from, well, because you know Lenny's scared of like a lot of stuff, just like Chucky was, and then you know Lynn is also like really, you know, is really stupid, and then and so is, you know, Patrick, and from, you know, well, I wouldn't say Patrick from, kind of like, you know, not exactly stupid, like, I'm not talking about Patrick from modern SpongeBob. That is just, not modern SpongeBob, I'm talking about, like, seasons 4 through 9A of SpongeBob. That Patrick was just awful. I mean, I hate that Patrick. But, like, Patrick from pre-movie SpongeBob, and a few other characters that from other Nicktoons that you could call, kind of stupid, like, you know, Stimpy, from, you know, Ren and Stimpy, and, you know, Dog from Cat Dog, and, you know, some other characters like that. So, yeah, you can pretty much say that, because, yeah, Lenny is my favorite character from the Loud House. And by the way, Chucky is not my favorite character from Rugrats. It's Angelica. I just said that, you know. But yeah, in this episode we have, you know, Lori keeps, you know, is like very, like, bossy. Like, Lori says that, you know, so Lori has, whenever Lori drives the Loud Sisters plate, and, well, Lincoln and the other Loud Sisters places, they have to do something in return. So, so then Lincoln, gets Lenny, who is also old enough to drive, to try and get their driver's license, but Lenny keeps failing, and then they try and help, and Lincoln and the other Loud Sisters try and help Lori, but still, it, like, never works, and, like, And, like, Lincoln tries and helps, but then, which, I mean, I'm sure that will work out, but Lori ends up, you know, Lori just ends up, you know, she put, while Lenny's asleep, she puts, you know, headphones on Lenny that say, you know, things that she, to tell Lenny to do things that she should not do during driving, like to drive on the wrong side of the road, not to adjust the mirrors, and to comment on the driving instructor's weight. So, yeah. So, yeah, this is, which, you know, Lenny ends up failing. Even though Lenny never passed in this episode, this is still my favorite episode of The Loud House so far. I mean, there's season 2 isn't over yet, and there's going to be a 3rd season. And I really, and this, I'm not sure if this will be my, if when the show ends, if this will be my all-time favorite episode, but, which, it's not ending anytime soon, but whenever this show does end, which it will probably be years until it ends, because of how popular the show is, I just, I don't know if this will still be my favorite episode, but this is my favorite episode so far. It's really good. You should definitely watch this episode. If you're going to get into this series, you definitely need to watch this episode. It is really funny, and, yeah. Well, guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. So, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and peace out, fans.